everybody. It's Lorraine O'Hanley from the Lackawanna County Children's Library, and today we're booking a trip to Australia. And I know some of my friends at school had wanted to go to Australia when I visited them in their school on Monday, but I didn't have a chance to because the snow held me up. So I'm here today with some interesting stories about Australia, some interesting facts about the animals, and maybe a few cool other things. I've never been to Australia, so this is going to be a good trip for me. So let's start with today. Today is Friday. Let's see. Oh, I'm so glad that Miss Angela got this all set up for me, and I know it's backwards, and she showed me the little tool on there so I could flip you, but I'm afraid if I do that now, I'll disconnect you, so if you could read this backwards, that's okay. Today is Friday, February 5th, so it's the 5th day of February. And what's the weather like today? You just take a look out the window, and what can you see out there? I'm looking out my window here at the library, and right now I see a sunny day. So I'm putting sunny down there. Now, the other thing is it warm outside or cold outside? You're right, it's cold outside. So we are going to put, it's this winter season, so we are going to put the winter down. So it's sunny and cold today, and lots of snow still on the ground. So stay safe and stay warm, but make sure you get outside and play in the snow. There's nothing like being outside in the fresh air to get all the clouds out of your head and the cobwebs out of your head. Now, I just wanted to show you a map. If you can see this, this is a map of all the 7 continents. So we have North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Antarctica, Asia, and Australia. So we have all those different continents. So the continent that we're going to be talking about today is Australia. And in this instance, Australia is a country, but it is also a continent. Unlike Africa, which is a continent with a lot of different countries in it. And this is what it looks like a little bit. To me, it always looked like a dolphin. Like, here's the dolphin's head, and it looks like it's jumping into the water. So that's what Australia, the shape of Australia is. Okay. So as I said with Australia, can you think of a movie where somebody came from Australia? Do you know who this is? That's right, it looks like Nemo. And Nemo and his friends lived in Australia. And I can't even remember the name of the street that they were looking for, but Dory and Nemo were trying to find their way and find Nemo's dad. So here's my little Australian Nemo. So the first story I have, I'm going to read a little bit of a long story for you, and it's a really great story, and it's called The Shark God, and it's written by Rafe Martin and illustrated by David Shannon. And if you know David Shannon, he writes the No David books, and he illustrates the No David stories. And Rafe Martin is a wonderful author who writes and what is the right word? He writes the stories that he's heard. So he's a good author, and this is based on a traditional tale. Now, this is a Hawaiian tale, but I believe it's also part of the Pacific Ocean culture too, because I have read a story about a shark god as well in Polynesian history. So we're going to travel a little bit from Australia to Hawaii, and this is a traditional Hawaiian one. So I hope Miss Angela is okay. I'm throwing something in here. This is a little long, but this is very appealing to the older kids. And then we'll do some shorter ones. And the illustrations in here are really wonderful, because if you look at the illustrations, you can see the markings on the people's faces, like the different tattoos, and the tattoos will symbolize what group or family they belong to, or stories, just like Maui. And I hate to keep bringing up Disney movies, but Disney did a pretty good job of, showing the tattoos on the body, and as Maui said, the stories they tell. So that is, based in fact. So this is the story of the shark god. And if you look at this man's back, look at that. Beautiful shark tattoo on his back. Just like the grandmother in Moana, she had the tattoo on her back. It was long, long ago that two children, a brother and a sister, tried to find someone to help them save a shark. They ran home, but neither their father nor mother were there. "Why should I care about a fish?" laughed a woman they met. "Don't bother us with nonsense," snarled one of the king's counselors at the palace gate. "A shark!" exclaimed a third man, grabbing his spear. "Lead me to it. I'll kill it." And the children are very worried. So the boy and the girl climbed down the cliff themselves to where the shark lay, entangled and thrashing in the shallows. "Mano," the girl called gently. "We mean no harm." "Yes," said the boy, "we only want to free you." Strangely, the shark seemed to understand, for it stopped struggling and lay calmly watching them with its round black eyes. So they let him know that they were there to help him. And he's all caught in fishing line, and you'll see that even today. Fish, sharks, dolphins, turtles get caught up in fishing line. At last, the final coil of tangled rope fell away. Unbound, the shark swam off, its fin cutting the waves like a blade. Where the sea turned dark blue, it paused, raised its head from the water, looked back at the children, and then sank and was gone. Can you see him there? He's raising his head right there. Very cool. And then the children are having fun. They're rejoicing in the fact that they saved the shark. On their way back through the village, they passed the king's drum. It was kapu, forbidden to anyone but the king to touch it. But no one was there, and oh, how they wanted to drum out their triumph. The king glanced from his window and saw them approach. His eyes narrowed, his lips grew tight. He might have called, "Stop, remember it is kapu." But he just watched, saying nothing. I don't know if that was a good idea if the children knew they shouldn't touch it. The children stepped closer. They looked, they reached out and lightly touched the drum. It made such a soft sound. It sounded like the faintest patter of summer rain on green leaves far, far away. So you could see the chief is looking out his window at them, and I guess he just wanted to see what they were going to do. And you could see the statue in the back, almost kind of laughing. Hi, friends. Thank you for watching today. But the king saw and heard. "Guards," he shouted, "take them." The guards ran and grabbed the children. I think they're in trouble now. The parents hurried to the palace and laid themselves before the king. "Great king," pleaded the father, "they are just, please free the boy and the girl." "Great king, remember," begged the mother, "they are but children. Children must learn." "Silence," bellowed the king. "They have broken my law. In 3 days, they shall die. This is justice." "Alas," wept the parents, "who can help us?" The parents left the palace. To each person they met, they told their tale and asked for help. But no one seemed to care. They all just shrugged and said, "That is how he is. Our king has a hard heart. If you don't like it, you should leave." Then the parents saw that the people of the island had all become as hard-hearted as their king. Then, for their children's sake, at last they went where no one had ever gone willingly before, into the cavern of the great Kahuhu, the fearsome god shark. Green waves rolled seething into the cavern, where seaweed lay tangled on the black lava rocks. The salt smell of the sea was strong. As they entered, fear rose like a wave and washed over them. They ran and hid among the rocks. More water surged into the cavern. With the eighth wave, a huge shark slid onto the beach. The shark god reared itself up, and before their horrified eyes, transformed into a gigantic man on whose mighty back was the tattoo of an open shark's jaw. Look at that. So you could see, here's the shark tail, here's the shark god's back with the shark. So when he's swimming, he has his tail, he looks like a shark. And they must be really frightened of that, because can you imagine seeing a shark that big? "A man," roared the shark god, hungrily sniffing the air. "I smell a woman and a man." He reached down and lifted the canoe builder up with one great fist and his wife in the other. "Now," he growled, "I am going to eat you up." "Great one," the man cried boldly. "Eat us if you must, but first hear our tale." Now, do you remember? Can you think of two other children, two other people with the shark god? Then, in tears, the parents told of their children's plight. The shark god listened, nodding his huge head. When they were done, he smiled grimly, showing his strong, sharp, white teeth. "Prepare a canoe with all you might need for a journey," said the shark god. "Bring offerings to the temple. Do not fear. I will send a sign. Go out to the sea then, and your children will be brought to you." Okay. So I'm thinking, the shark god is definitely thinking, so. Do you have any ideas of what he might be thinking? The parents bowed gratefully and hurried away. And they prepared, and they watched and waited. At the dawn of the third day, a rainbow arched from blue sea and touched the offerings. Then, far out at sea, a tiny cloud appeared. Larger and larger it grew as it raced toward the island. Can you see that cloud right there? What does that cloud look like? And here's the rainbow touching the offerings. So my guess is it's time for the man and the woman to go find the children. The sky grew dark. The wind began to blow. The king looked from his window in alarm. He ran to his drum and beat loudly upon it. Boom, ba-boom, boom, ba-boom. The people all hurried to the palace, but the man and his wife went down to the cove, pushed out the canoe, and paddled beyond the reef. There they waited on the rolling sea. Look, everybody's running. Boom, ba-boom. Lightning flashed, thunder crashed. Boom, ba-boom. A great wave rose. Up and up it rose. It rushed over the land, over the houses and trees, and broke upon the palace, crumpling it to the ground. The children were washed free. They swam to the gate of their prison, which now floated before them, and clambered up. Then an immense shark rose from the dark water and pushed the gate and the children over the flooded land. Now I want you to think, why do you think the shark saved the children? Out to sea they traveled, out to the waiting canoe, and into the arms of their mother and father. The great shark lifted his huge head from the water, its sharp white teeth shining in a grin. For a moment it remained balanced upright, watching them calmly with round, black, wise eyes. Then it sank down and disappeared beneath the waves. Great one, chanted the family, we give you our thanks and shall remember this day always. Something red came bobbing on the waves. Our drum, shouted the children. They lifted it on board. Far away, children, said the canoe builder. Many, many miles across the blue sea, there is another island. The king of that island is kind and just, and the people there still have good hearts. We shall bring the drum to him. Leli Kahoka. Truly the spirit of this land has flown away. The wind blew, filling in the sail. The drum throbbed, making a sound like laughter among palm trees, like white surf breaking far, far away. Swiftly now they raced over the waves, heading out across the wide ocean toward their new home. And that's the end of the story. And I like this last page. Remember when the little girl was making an offering of thanks to the shark god? And she threw her headband of flowers into the water, and look, it's on the shark. So this is a really good story. Let me just see what the author note said. All right, the author said he heard this story. Oh, he heard the story more than 20 years ago. It's probably longer now. And as a child, I loved sharks and though I grew up in New York City, I used to make scuba gear out of cardboard and diving masks of rubber and jump out of trees, imagining I was leaping into the ocean. I think that's pretty cool. He had a great imagination. And then years later, I was invited to tell stories at Hawaii's Talking Island Storytelling Festival. I was able to gather information on sharks as well as the magnificence of ancient Hawaiian cultures, so deeply spiritually woven into the land itself. Friends there guided me to sources. So he did his research and he found out from the native Hawaiian people about their stories, and then he was able to tell them. Wow. He just made some changes. This is really cool. This was in 2001, so this is a 10-year-old book, but I highly recommend it. Again, it's by Rafe Martin is the author, and the pictures are by David Shannon, and they've worked together before. So if you like this story, please come in. You can check the book out, and you can find other stories on Hawaii and the South Pacific. That's pretty cool. I like that. Maybe I'll get a tattoo like that. Think maybe that would be cool? I don't know. Okay. Now, I have this tiny little book, and it's called Meet the Animals. And they're all strange kind of animals that live in Australia. And let's see, and many of you, I think, would know what this is. You know what this is? That's a koala bear. And this koala bear, let's see if he can stay around my neck. There. He can stay around my neck. Oops. He stayed off my neck. And these are his eucalyptus leaves, and they love to eat eucalyptus. And when there was a fire there last year, a lot of koala bears needed to be saved, and thankfully they're doing better. So this is my little koala bear. I don't think I could hold him the whole story, but he is awfully cuddly, isn't he? Yeah, you're cute. So I'm going to put him down here with Nemo, and they can listen to the stories together. So this is called Meet the Animals. Hello, koala. Thick fur. Eats gum leaves. Sleeps all day. Strong hands and feet. Why do you think they have to have strong hands and strong feet? Yes, you're right. Because they climb the trees. And they use their hands and their feet to climb the trees. Looks like he's taking a nap in that one. Hello, kangaroo. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy kangaroo. Long, strong tail. Likes to hop. Large ears. And pouch for baby. So that's how the mom kangaroos carry their babies. They have the pouch right there. They open it a little, and then the baby hops right in. And maybe when you were little, your mom carried you in a pouch too. But usually it was a very colorful pouch. This is a very strange animal. Hello, wombat. This is a wombat. Eats grass, likes to dig, strong claws, and sleeps in a burrow. Yeah, he's eating. And sleeping in a burrow, that means he likes to dig a hole underground and sleep in there where it's nice and cool and comfortable and he can stay out of danger. And you can't really see his claws too well, but he's got some pretty big claws. They not only help him eat, but helps him dig a burrow. Hello, parrot. Look at that. What a beautiful bird. I've never seen anything like that here in Pennsylvania. Colorful feathers, sharp beak, eats nectar, sings loudly. Yeah. He's eating the nectar from the flower. Nectar is kind of like a honey that the birds like. And they are very loud. My grandson has a parrot, and I don't know whether they call him Skittles or, I think they call him Skittles because he looks like the rainbow color of Skittles. But that parrot is very noisy. Hello, Tasmanian devils. They look like little brown bears, little black bears. Red ears, long whiskers, babies play, eats a meal. I don't know, they kind of look like mouse, bear type animals. But Tasmanian devil. Tasmania is a name of one of the states in Australia. I don't know why they call them devil though. Oh, hello, platypus. They're very unusual looking animals. Covered in fur, bill like a duck, flat tail, swims in creeks. Look at that. So it does look like a duck, and it has flat feet, almost like a beaver or a duck, and it swims in creeks. Hello, dolphin. Lives in the sea, breathes air, swims fast, and strong tail. Look at that. Dolphins are very intelligent, very friendly animals, and they like to be around other animals. Oh, that's it. Oh, I was hoping we'd have more animals. But I don't know. The koala is nice and cuddly. The kangaroo is very active, very jumpy. I think I'm going to have to do some more research into a wombat because I like the way that name sounds. It sounds like wombat. The parrot is very colorful. And dolphins, I saw them down in Florida one time and they're really cool. I like them. I even got to touch one. So that's the story about Meet the Animals. That's pretty cool. Here's my shark. Have you ever seen a shark in real life? Yeah? Well, there are sharks down at the Electric City Aquarium, which I know is open on weekends. I don't know if they're open yet during the week, but they have a lot of sharks in their shark tank, and it was very cool to see all the different kinds of sharks they have there. And we also have lots of shark books here at the library, so if you can't get out, just give us a call and we'll put some shark books together for you. The last story I'm going to read today is, I can't reach it, is Polly Hopper's Pouch. And this is about a mom kangaroo. And so this is about a pouch that the mother has. Polly Hopper's Pouch by Louise Bonnet Rampersad and illustrated by Lena Cheswick Liberace. Dutton Children's Books. Polly Hopper was a curious kangaroo. She wondered why she could jump so much higher than anyone else and how far the field stretched. She wondered how many stars twinkled at night and where the trains that chugged by were going. She wondered how Topper Hopper, her charming husband, could dance so well with his big floppy feet. Look at that. All the animals are having a dance. But most of all, she wondered why she had a shopping bag on her tummy. A shopping bag on her tummy? Can you imagine? None of the other creatures she knew had one. She looked at the emu. They didn't have one. Look at that. That's an emu. That's a huge, huge bird with big, big feet. She looked at the rabbits. They didn't have one. She looked at the dingoes. They didn't have one either. These are the dingoes. And those are wild dogs that live in Australia. The other ladies she saw all carried handbags, which weren't like her shopping bag at all. What good is it? Polly wondered, and she stared at her tummy. So she's staring at her tummy, and the other animals are staring at her tummy. Stop wondering, said an elderly kangaroo. One day, you'll know why you have that lovely pouch. Pouch, she thought. She didn't think it was lovely. Her books from the library were too heavy to go in it. Oh, can you imagine? Her books were too heavy from the library to go in it. Her loaves of bread were too wide to fit in, so she couldn't even put her bread in her pouch. That's funny. Her peaches got lost in the bottom, and even the flowers from her garden didn't fit in right. They just flopped over the top. Okay, she tried to fit her flowers. She's trying to put her bread. Her peaches are getting lost. Those of you at home, do you have any idea what goes in a kangaroo's pouch? You know, if you want to tell me in the comments, you can. But the elderly kangaroo had told her that one day she would know. So she waited and waited and waited. And finally that day came. Polly and Topper Hopper had a little baby of their own. They named their soft, sweet baby kangaroo Minnie Hopper. Polly Hopper's pouch was the perfect possible place for Minnie. She fit perfectly. Look at how well she fits in there. Look at that. I love that. Her head rested gently there. She stayed nice and warm inside it. And as she grew, her face peeked out just enough for her to see her new world. Look at her. She's putting her little face out. She looks very comfy. This isn't a shopping bag after all, exclaimed Polly Hopper. It's a wonderful place to keep my baby safe and warm. Every night, as Minnie Hopper closed her eyes and fell asleep, Polly reached down, gave her a kiss, and declared that it was a lovely pouch after all. Look at that. Did you guess that that's what she was using the pouch for? I know a lot of human people use pouches in the front to hold their babies, or they use backpacks to hold the babies because it's easier, and that way the baby can be close to them at all times, and then you don't have to worry about them. So I think Polly Hopper was very happy that she found out that's what her pouch was for. Can you imagine if she put her peaches in there and she had peaches? That would have been something else. That's what I have for Australia today. We have a lot of other books about Australia, about Australian animals, or, you know, if you enjoyed the Shark God story that I read, and you like folk tales and mythology and stories about other people's cultures, we've got plenty of those too. Also, for Black History Month, we have a display of books of prominent and sometimes not so well-known people, African American people who have made major contributions into the sciences, into theater, dance, music, government. So come in, pick out some books, and they're on an easy to read level. Also, we have books put out depicting children of other colors. Some really wonderful stories, and they show you how children are alike pretty much all over the world. So we have a display of children's books that depict children of other colors. So please come in and do that. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad to be able to go to Australia today. And as always, keep safe. If you need any help from us in any way, whether it's books, to talk, renew materials, find out what's new, please give us a call. Our phone number is 570-348-3000, extension 3015. And libraries are great. We may not know everything, but we know how to get you the information. So have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.